So, the kidney stone is gone. Thank goodness. If you're just catching up, I was supposed to be having a panniculectomy on October 15th, but I had kidney stone that was just a little terror for about 6 weeks. But not this past Monday, but last Monday, I had surgery and had it removed. And I'm so grateful. Um, I didn't realize just how much it had taken a toll on me. I was sick for about 6 weeks. I didn't have pain. I was just nauseous all the time. And thankfully, that didn't mean I was throwing up all the time. So I'm not like all torn up or anything like that. But it was just the constant state of feeling like I was going to throw up, which made it very difficult to like live and eat. And it is such a relief to have the kidney stone be gone, off living his best kidney stone life somewhere not in my body. There have been a string of miracles though with it, and I wanted to make sure I told you because it's been so amazing. It turns out that well, first of all, I needed to get a ride from my insurance company to go to the surgery, and the night before, they people who had signed on to give me a ride to the surgery canceled. They said they didn't have enough drivers and they wouldn't be able to come get me. And I was like, okay, well, Uber is a thing and, we'll get it figured out. Um, but in the morning, another company said, hey, we'll come get you. And I said, oh, okay, great. Should I cancel this Uber? And they're like, yeah, 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 you can cancel it because we're going to come get you at 10 a.m. And I was like, and my surgery, I didn't have to be there till noon. And I was like, yeah, the thing is scheduled for noon. And I didn't want to argue with them. It was better to be early than late. So I got ready by 10. And at 10 o'clock, they weren't here. And so I called them and I said, hey, are you coming? And they said, yeah, we'll be there around 11:30. And that would have been like right up to the wire. It was raining, it was construction, and it's in downtown Milwaukee, which, if you've ever driven down there, can be a little special. And I said, is there any way you could send a different driver to come a little earlier than 11:30? Because that's really going to be, I want to make sure I'm having the surgery. And they were like, hey, hang on a second. And they said, we've actually got somebody who's 5 minutes away from you. And I was like, oh, can you please send them? And they sent this lady who was incredibly nice, very, very sweet. We talked about her family and different things. But she said, it's so funny that I got you. And I said, really? She said, yeah, I drove all the way out here. And the person I was supposed to pick up canceled. And then they called me and said, you needed me. So I was like, oh, thank you, God. Like it was like this divine appointment of this person. And she was really nice to like, I don't know if you've ever met somebody that you're never going to see again and like you're hesitant to leave, but she got me there with 20 minutes before I needed to get there. I didn't have to rush, but I was just like, it was so nice to meet you. And she's like, yeah, you too. And it was like, bye, you know. But it was just a nice way to start a day that was maybe a little bit nerve-wracking. But by then, I was so excited. Like, I get nervous to have surgery, as I'm sure anybody does, but I was so sick for so long. The idea of not being sick anymore way outweighed my nervousness for the procedure. And my anesthesiologist, his name was Angel, haha. So that was another little wink, like things are gonna be okay. Um, Everybody was so nice. If you're in Wisconsin, Freighter Medical College is. I had my hip surgery with them, and they were amazing, and they were amazing for this. Um, and so the actual surgery, it turned out that the kidney stone, okay, it was 6 millimeters, is that millimeter? I think so. And that's right around the kind that can like either pass or not pass, but either way, it's going to really hurt. Um, it was like, here's my kidney, there's a tube, here's my bladder. It was like here. So it was really close to coming to a time where I was going to be able to maybe pass it, but have a lot of pain. But instead, they were able to go in and take it out. So this is where the drama happens. I go home, my brother picks me up from surgery, everything is fine. I get, I get home and they had put a stent inside my kidney, which is like a piece of pasta that they put up into your kidney just in case that tube gets inflamed. It doesn't close and then you can't pee and things are bad. So they have this stent all the way up there. They said in 3 days, just pull the string gently and it will come out. And I said, great. I wasn't having any pain. I was not nauseous anymore. I'm feeling great. Well, what I didn't know is that the little string for the stent had wrapped itself around either my pants or my underwear or something. And when I went to go to the ladies' room about halfway through the next day, when I put my pants down, the stent came with it out of my body. And I'm like, oh, that's probably not good. And I called, I Googled to see what you're supposed to do, and they said call your doctor immediately because it could be bad. And so I did, and the lady sounded super nervous. She's like, it is way too early for that to be coming out. I was like, I know, I didn't do it on purpose. And she started listing all these symptoms. She's like, are you having a fever? Do you have pain? Are you having trouble urinating? And like all these different things. I was like, no. So should I come in? And she said, okay, if you have, and she listed all the symptoms. She said, if you have any of these, you go to the ER immediately. I was like, okay. And I'm just so thankful for this little miracle because I didn't have a single symptom. I didn't have any soreness, any fever, any swelling, any problem peeing. You know me, I have the bladder of like a mustard seed, so I was peeing all the time. And I think because it was like, here's my bladder and here was my stone, they didn't have to go rooting around all up through my kidney and stuff. So my kidneys were not mad and my ureter, the tube thing, wasn't mad. It was just like, hey, there was a surgery in here, but we didn't notice. And so I wasn't inflamed and I wasn't in like a ton of pain. So something that could have been a very big deal was not a big deal at all. Because if it's bad, they have to give you another surgery to put it back in. And your girl doesn't want another surgery. It is a bad time. Like it's like the surgery itself is fine, but I noticed this with my hip surgery that when I go under general anesthesia, I end up like I guess depressed. I have depression, but it's not something that um like I'm usually pretty good at battling it, like unless it's like girl time or something. But like I battle it pretty well. But man, when I get out of surgery, I struggle with it. And so I always kind of give myself time after surgery now because it's like I know that emotionally I'm going to struggle. And this time it was almost a blessing because I had no voice for 2 or 3 days. And so feeling kind of crappy and like physically fine, but emotionally just really drained and no voice. So I just kind of chilled and took care of myself and got my voice back. And I had bought some lozenges for my panniculectomy. And so I had lozenges to deal with the throat. And so here we are. I'm still a little, but all pretty good. Um, and so yeah, I'm still feeling a little just kind of foggy, but like I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there, and I've got my whimsical lights and oh, actually, uh, that's the stuff I'm starting to try to just be more productive to get out of this fog, and so I'm putting together all of the stuff for when I heal from the panniculectomy. Um, Trying to figure out how that all is going to work. There's stuff that I need for, I don't know if you can see it all, but there's like stuff, I don't want to keep messing up the camera, but there's stuff for like my wound care. There's gauze, there's the pads to put on it, there's foam to put on the binder, and then there's different medicines to prevent pain, inflammation, bruising, swelling, because I am susceptible to seromas, which is that blowing up of the skin. Um, so I'm trying to do everything I can to just have this be as smooth as possible. So yeah, we're 2 weeks away. Like it is a couple of minutes in like an hour, it's going to be October 2nd, which means October 15th is ever so close. Um, which I am so excited for it. I'm I have a lot of feelings because it's like I want this surgery so desperately because 30 pounds of skin pulling down on my body is constantly painful. But trying to figure out like what it's going to be like to not have that there and also how the healing process is going to be because I had such a tough time with my hip surgery right afterwards. Um, so we're gonna see. My doctor said because they're doing two surgeries, they're taking the hernia out and the doing the panniculectomy, taking 30 pounds of skin and taking out a hernia that I should expect more than one night in the hospital. So that's what I'm going to expect. And I'm just trying to plan for, they say the third and fourth day are the worst as far as pain. Um, and so if I'm still in the hospital, wonderful, because then I'll have nurses and things like that around me to monitor everything, making sure everything's okay. And if by day 3 or 4 I'm not in the hospital, it means I'll be here and I'll be handling it myself. Now I have people kind of who will come in and check on me, but by and large, this is going to be, me handling it. So I'm really just trying to minimize the things that I need to do while I won't be able to move. And so I'm trying to get, I've been cooking so much chicken to put into the fridge or the freezer, so that I can just have chicken easily available, and broccoli and cauliflower. So I can just have chicken, broccoli, and cauliflower, chicken, broccoli, and cauliflower. And then once I'm able to stand up and cook, I'll do more of that. Um, Depending on how I heal, I don't know how long before I'll be able to stand up and cook. So I'm researching, maybe like those meal options where they'll send you like healthy food in like prepackaged things you can just microwave. I'm hoping that what I make ahead of time will last. Um, and I'm just trying to just do everything I can. But yeah, so it's intimidating because it's a lot of stuff that you have to do, and you have to empty your drains and watch your incision and make sure you're walking a certain amount. And like that part is intimidating. But we have been waiting for 4 years to do this, and it's like it's time. So there's a lot of emotions with this. And then, if we heal up well from this, January 2nd, we go and work on the legs. And like we're getting really close to like being mobile and like fully functioning, running around the world, possibly actually running. So while it is stressful, it is also very exciting. We're still waiting to hear about the seroma that I have on my hip that is the size of my fist that needs to be deflated before my surgery in 14 days. But I'm not going to worry. It is going to work out the way it's meant to. And I've been calling and messaging, and it's a very busy, the place that I'm calling is like they're always slammed. And so I'm just hoping that they'll refer me to maybe a different genre of hospitals, people to just go and get this thing aspirated. Aspirated means they take all the fluid out. It's just basically like a thing about this big of blood on my hip. And don't be alarmed, it's because my skin is very stretchy and it's just sort of stretched on my hip. Um, so yeah, that's got to go before my surgery because, the panniculectomy is right next to it. So we can't have that living there. So yeah, we're just breathing, breathing. But 2 weeks from now, we will be going to surgery, and a life-changing, holy moly kind of surgery. And it's really kind of going to be quite a little journey between now and like say spring. So, yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're hanging in there. We're doing everything we can. We're preparing. Kidney stone's gone. Hooray. And yeah, I just wanted to keep you updated. I'm sorry I haven't talked to you before then. I really was just kind of mentally drained. And I have a lot of plates that I'm spinning at the moment. And so I'm trying to like keep my mental battery life as high as I possibly can. But I am really excited for this surgery, despite all the stress and like the kind of question marks of things. Like this is going to be just a wonderful thing. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. But yeah, and again, anybody who sent me stuff from that pile, thank you so much because it's taking a lot off of my brain to know that I have supplies for things. And I'm still, getting little things here and there, but I think we're close to being pretty prepared. Now I just have to kind of organize and make some fine tuning. But thank you. If you've bought something from my registry, it doesn't give me a way to reply to you. So um, if I can, I will. But if I don't know how to, just please know that it truly means the world to me that you have sent something to help me. It really, really matters, and it means a lot. So, I'm awesome at this part of things. So I'm going to shush and just go. But I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for the kind words and the prayers and the support and everything. So I will check in again soon. But in the meantime, I love you. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.